Üdvözlök mindenkit az újabb Hellblade streamen. Nem tudom, ugye most nem akarom elizélni, hogy az utolsó-e bármi közbe jöhet, egy órás boss fight vagy ilyesmi. De viszont úgy érzem, hogy a történet már mindenkit a lezárásához közeledik. Ó, igen. Ó, igen. Itt vagyunk.
The Northmen say the gods will fight their last battle at Ragnarok. Their watchmen will blow the horn that can be heard through the whole world. And Odin will speak with the severed head of Mimir, which gives him good counsel. The land of the giants will thunder with the sound of their army on the move. The gods will assemble, the dwarves will leave their stones, the frost giants will come from the east, the Midgard serpent will turn up the waves, eagles will scream and tear at the corpses with their yellow beaks, the ship of the dead will set sail.
Ez, hogy a Watchman-jük fogja megszólítani a kürtöt. Gélathornt, Heimdall fogja meg szólaltatni. Eljön Ragnarök. Hát na, Dur se tudhat mindent. Hella. Kivancok. Ez már nagyon vissza, ugye? Ott mászott fel az volt a vezetőbe. Nyugi.
The Northmen say the world will come to
Ez volt az előtte lévő.
They call this
Ragnarök.
destiny of the gods.
Gods.
First, there will be a terrible winter, 3 years
Timber
long.
Winter. Winter.
Mankind will turn on itself. Brothers will fight each other to the death.
Elég rossz a...
People will forget what they owe their kindred. Times will be hard. Crime.
Enjahárként részt vett az emberiség, vagy részt fog venni az emberiségre. A Ragnarökbe, de... De nagy részünk, vagy hát nem is tudom, hogy szerintem minden ember meg fog halni a Fimbul Winter alatt, nem? A 3 évtél. Az anyátok picsát, tudjátok.
Hela has defeated her twice.
Mi az, hogy kétszer győzött le Hela?
Hela gave you the rod.
Mi az, hogy kétszer győzött le Hela? Hela. Loki lánya. Gyorsan csak ezt a hidat. Néha hangok olyan egyértelmű. Az igen. Én néztem be is azt. Micsoda? Mi történik ez? Sarokba beszélős anyád. Jó. Kijön. Mi a... végre. Halálcsapdából. Nagyon. Jó, úgy. Mi ez hogy nem jött ki egyébként? Valaki kell mondani is. Hallod? Menj már odébb! Hát, azzal egy helybe toporgok az minden. Ez megint ugyanaz, mint Garbnál az arénában. Kibaszott kis helyen. Mit fogok tenni? Szétvaszom Hellát is. Kell. Minden dillionér.
No. She cannot bargain with Hella. She's not strong enough to kill Hella. What does Hella want? No one can bargain with Hella. What does Hella want? What can she give her? She can give her her own soul. No. Professor's rotting. She can't. It's a worthless soul. But it's all she has to give. She has a warrior soul.
Azt tettek a hangok, hogy tudnék
A
alkudni
cursed soul.
Hellával.
Of course she is, no matter what she does.
Egy cserébe a Dillon lelkért sajátomat, de haszontalan lelkem van.
She can fight her at Ragnarok. She's a warrior. She's gone. Hela will want to fight her. Strong. Her soul is valuable.
Hela will want her soul.
Hela.
She can take Dillion's soul and lay him to rest.
She can get his soul back.
She's so close to saving Dillion.
She can do it. She just has to do it. She can do it.
She can do it.
She can still
Mi viccelsz?
save the gods.
Most ugye
Special.
ilyen poénokat nyomsz. Még ez a...
She must see. She has the sight. She can seal their secrets.
De ez mi itt? Ugye mi? Meg is honnan? Kell kellene a hétre és a hétról visszanézni? Köszönöm.
There's an illusion. She's found a way. There's a way.
She can see it.
She must align herself. She can do it.
There's the
She aligns
Wow.
herself. It's there.
Tovább az utunk. Jó. Egyébként tegnap játszottam a boss fightba, én azt
The Northmen say that at Ragnarok the gods will face a ship full of their foes, which Loki has steered to Asgard. It carries the fire giants, the wolf that will eat the sun, and all kinds of dark creatures. Surt will join them with his sword of fire. The cliffs will crash, trolls will walk the land, men will tread the road to hell, and the heavens will split open.
ahogy ugye az előző részben, én úgy emlékszem, hogy a Garmot mondtak, Hela őrzőkutyát, ugye a Helheim őrzőjét. És mégis az achievement, játéknak az achievementje, és nem tud ki. Nincs már ki valószínűleg, merre menjünk tovább. Ja. Azt írt, hogy Fenrirt győztük le. Mit nem értek. Jó, gondolom, hogy felül is itt van. Hát, lehet elhányba. Bezárják. Hol a baj, nem tudom. Nincs eszembe minden részlete. Részlete mitológiáknak. De most az sincs eszembe, hogy szabadul ki Loki. Szerintem a játékban is részt veszték azt a... Miután, igen, rávette Hödöt, Baldur öccsét, hogy ölje meg. Akkor a saját gyerekei beleivel lefogták. És egy hegy mélyén, és akkor egy kígyót raktak fölé, miről csepeg rá a kígyó mérge. Viszont a felesége, az Asgardi felesége, az ott áll fent egy tállal. Ez egy dupla támadás volt. Eljöttek egyből, leviszik a főirat. Jó. Szia, hogy duplán jöttetek. Ez kéne vissza. Igen, ez a nagyon hosszú támadása. Ah! Charge-olt hegyetekre? Mi most? Fuck!
Finish this. End it now.
Ez a szúrás. Mindig azt hiszem, hogy ebből a szúrással megölik. Csak akkor szúrja be, de nem. Vám, térde! Jártam a történetbe? Hol jártam? Ahogy Loki le van fogva egy hegy mélyén, csöpög rá méreg. Szóval a felesége tart fel egy tálat. És amikor a tál megtelik és ő odébb megy, hogy elmegy, hogy kijöntse a tálat, akkor csöpög a méreg Lokira. Fájdalomtól üvölt, és ezért vannak földrengések. Az északi mitológiai szerint. Lejjebb menjek? Ja, itt van egy ilyen. De hallgassuk a történetet is a Ragnarökről.
The Northmen said each god will do battle at Ragnarok. Odin will fight the monstrous wolf and be killed, but his son will avenge him and plunge his sword into the heart of the beast.
Oh.
Freyr will face Surt, but he had given his sword away for love, and without it, he cannot defend himself against the flames. Thor will smite the Midgard serpent to no avail. The sun will go black, the earth will sink into the sea, the stars will disappear, fire and water will meet, steam will shoot up, flames will play against the sky, the heavens and earth and all the world will be burned, all the gods will be dead, and the warriors of Valhalla and the people everywhere. Senua, prepare yourself for Ragnarok. for it is nigh.
Bájzé, hogy már Ragnarököt várja a csákó. Az benn. Ott így a másik fia, van egy ilyen szám. Az a sztoria, hogy van egy kibaszott egy cipő, hogy egy ilyen nagyon nagy cipője. És ugye felrír, utána meg lenyeli. Akkor amikor beszélek, hátra. Miben nézem, ezt a kurva szóltak ott. Kösz, hogy szóltak a panyát. Ezt tartsad a kardodat, te búzi. Aha. Tanultam egy új trükköt. Kettőt is. Anyád! Nem. Van még egy ilyen aktív? Nem bírom sosem megütni. Túl gyors. Fel kell állnod. Senua, fel kell állnod. De kibaszottul jól néz ki. Ugye ugrószúrást. Érd el! Hát ahol mögöttem is itt van, bazd! De miért? Miért lassult be egyébként? Nem baj, legalább. Hú. Ennek a Odin másik fiának a cipőjét. Amikor nem is tudom, cipősarat igen levágták, vagy nem is tudom, valami ilyesmi van. A bőrdagot félre kell dobni, és azt, hogy összegyűlt neki, és attól lett olyan nagy a cipője, rá tud taposni Fenri alsó állkapcsára, és úgy tudja megölni. Egyébként a fő narrátor hang már ideje nem szólt hozzá. Tényleg anyánk hangja volt, és ő...
Wait. What? What happens when she dies? What happens to us? What happens to us? We die too. Do we die too? We die too. I don't want to.
We'll all die someday.
I don't want to die.
And when everyone's gone, even the gods will die.
We don't want to die. I don't want to die. Senua, stop. Turn back. Stop.
Aha, hangok nem akarnak, mert félek, hogy mi meghalunk. De, mik ezek a hangok? Ezek nem más lelkek már, mint hogy...
I'm sorry. I didn't ask you to be a part of me. If you don't want to die with me, then leave me alone.
Stop. I don't want to die. Please stop. 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 You'll never come back if you go there.
There is nothing to go back to.
We only have each other now. Don't abandon me.
Everyone suffers. They were right about me.
Listen to me, not them. They were afraid. Like children scared of the dark.
So was I.
They made up monsters to fill the void. That doesn't make them real.
Ez a jóságunk, ez a jó.
They made them real.
No!
Follow your soul and let go of the Senua of old. For there lies your weakness, and the darkness will find it.
De ez nem a reményeltelibb éne volt, úgymond.
It's not like the old stories, is it? The noble warrior facing evil in search of victory and honor. Clear dividing lines. No. Oh, this place is not quite like that. It's as if it knows that true torment lies within. Memories you cannot defeat, cannot escape. This is her hell.
A rúnák voltak feladványokban is. Kárján rúgtak el. Érdekes. Nem akarok több elébeszédet meg ezért. Ellát akarom. Annyit elégették mágiám? Még gyerek volt, nem nézte.
You see the darkness, faces fear and suffering.
You can see it.
I remember it clearly now.
She has nothing to fear anymore. The gods have saved your mother.
Ez zapja, ez 100%-ban zapja. Nem 100%.
Killed her.
It is the will of the gods.
Fuck the gods! You did this to her! Why?
This is what happens when you listen to the voices of the underworld. They crawl into your soul and rot you from the inside.
De... Wow.
Defy the gods like your mother, and the darkness will come for you too. You understand, Senua?
I do understand.
Igen.
You cursed me with your own madness. I was
Nincs,
just a child.
nincs erre gondolok.
You created this darkness.
Az apré
Created
paranoiája
this
meg
darkness so you could hide behind it.
a tönkre.
Only suffering brings salvation. It is the way of the gods.
It was all a lie. You are a lie! She didn't defy the gods. She defied you. And so you killed her.
You didn't pray to the gods. You prayed to your mother. Your mother, who was too weak to fight the darkness.
Hazudik a hang, nem.
You
Ezt mondom én is.
tortured her. You killed her. You are the darkness.
Az apja volt egy rohadék. Úgy gondolta, hogy az anyja is, meg ő is. Sötétséget. Ja? Hát nem. A sötétség volt, ő beszélte vele, és az anyja is próbált ellene harcolni, mert ő azt mondta, hogy ő az Istenek kell van, vagy hogy mondjam. Az anyja harcolt ellen, mint az apja ellen, akkor megölte őt, mert azt mondta, hogy az Isteneket tagadja. Igazából. Hú, bazzan. Megértem, hogy indult.
Those rituals, the years of isolation, the pain that still haunts you. It was the only way to fight the curse within you.
Most ér a fejünk ide.
The darkness is inside you and it will destroy you.
You're a liar!
No, Senua. The darkness is here. You cannot wish it away. And it will watch as you draw your last dying gasp.
I won't let you kill me.
Ó, de kibaszott jó zene is van hozzá. Hú, annyira húra jól néztek ki ezek az animációk. Mozgáskultúra Senuának, hogy... Jaj, bocsánat. Nem néz ki, hogy meghalok. Nem jön össze. Gyorsan kell megtörni ezt a csávot. Szúrni azt meg is hal. Segbe rúgni azt megtüfölni a kibaszott férgeket! Jó, vagy se utoltam.
Behind you.
Térdés! Fuck you! De ezt nem egyébként dodge-oltam, láttam az árnyékot. Igen! Szab! Minden másodperc izére, minden jó mozdulatra jön egy rossz. Mellé ugrik. Mindig pont jön, még egy pont hátba. Egy hang van egyébként, nem? Egymást nem akartok leütni, amúgy ez nem ott tetszene. De nem vált át egyébként a targetra, amit akarok ütni. Ez itt előttem ki, ezt kell megpasszolni műszor. Ez a képességem sokkal erősebb lenne, nem? A fényesebb is lennék. Vedd elő a kis fejszínet, te buzi! Sima atakkal feltöröm a pajzsát egyébként az...
I can see through your darkness. You're a liar and a murderer. And if you really are Hela, then I have a sword here that can kill a god.
Most meg kéne látnom egy hidat. Ja, hogy megyek rajta és de menő.
Backwards to wallow your miserable past. You're making a mistake searching for Dillion.
Következő aréna.
The same mistake that killed him in the first place.
Mind a két kezemet elkapta.
To save you from yourself. You said that it is a lie. The plague of darkness, the butchering of the nearby Northmen. You saw it yourself.
Nem az én hibám volt, nem Senua hibája volt.
You told everyone I was cursed. They believed you. I believed you.
Tell me, Senua, where is Dillion's soul if the darkness is a lie? How you saved him?
He's here.
Angelica.
I know he's here. Dillion, I know you're here. Hold on. I'll find you.
Ne ezt megint, könyörgöm. Ó, bassz, meg kell kezdni. Bassz meg már. Ó, hirtelen üt ezzel. Miért kellett berakni még egyszer ezt a boss fightot, bazzak, még PTSD-n van. Most meg izé? Van Gral? Elég. Szúrtúr. Na mind a kettő most, úristen. Nem? Hát, te ott rád vannak. Összealakultak. Fenrir, gárban, hogy a legkényig állnak. Hú, bazzak. Igen, ez is jó. Hogy lehetett volna, lehetett sok képességet csak kis dodge-olni. És rá meg létszik. Milyen pajzsos ide lábos, tehát Egy kettő között vált, hol van szurtúr? Hol vagy szurtúr? Küzdjük meg! Ó, bazzeg, rossz gombot nyomtam. Láttam, hogy balrizni kell legalábbis. Hú, de jó! Átváltott a támadásból védekezésbe az a hölgy. Ő nem csinálja még a nagyobb támadását, a nagyobb dobálását. Ő hosszna. Most oké. Ebből is az. Előre dodge-oltam véletlenül. Anyád! Átalakulsz és kell ebből támad.
see? You're trying to trick me again with your lies. I know he's here. You took him from me. You have him.
Úristen!
Dillion is dead.
Vázd meg, Dillion! Hol vagy? Dillion basszolga úgy. Sok fasz.
What can you do to me that you haven't already?
Your own father.
Fight me.
Betrayed the
Come
gods
on.
in search of Dillion, in search of love.
Surrounded Senua.
Look where that's got you.
Jó, hogy careful vagyok, de hát nagyon sokan vannak.
Let go of redemption. Let go
Behind you.
Dillion. Don't let your darkness hurt anyone else.
Nem fogom feladni. Mi történik? Mi történik? Mi volt ez a rangés? Egy Hella is itt van? Gyere Hella. Ez kurva tetszik, milyen kicsi lett, ahogy közel értünk hozzá. Vagy a... Ez egy trükk, hogy ilyen erős, vagy tényleg ahogy... Az igen, elkapott a buzia. Az ez kemény. Nem látok. Arra úgy, nem látok. Azt is minél gyorsabban. Túl erős. A nagy is, kötte. A hajúzúzit is. Még is futam beesik. Kibaszott erős már ez a képességem. Hadsereget feltart. Kitörök, nem tudom. Egybe. Miért be van? Nem tudok elfutni mellettük. Nem jó, ugye, pont ez a kettő legerősebb minden nemén. Ez mi, hogy olyan? Fontosan stannolgat. De amúgy nem az élet. Igen. Nem tudok megazdulni. Anyáda let go! Soha! Felállok. Újra. És... Köszönöm fel. Ha meghalok közben! Vagy nem az van, hogy most el kell jutnom Helláig ennyi katonán keresztül. Fú! Ezekről nem lehet, szerintem nem lehet ráfordulni. Nem. Jó. Gondolunk ennél, hogy ezt nekem teszem. De ezekről... Ez ki lehet, hogy... Jaj, ja. Felöklelnek közben. Nem let go. Állj fel egy kérlek, kérlek. Leütötte most? Most leütötték egymást, hogy mi a fasz? Nem vagyok. De gyorsan parizni csak ebben a célban. Ezt. Időnként bestannol, ez egyébként egy kis fasság. Még nem jöttem rá, hogy... Vagy behind you. Sok kicsi is megbaszom úgy. segít, ha nagyon rossz a targetol ki. Bestannolnak. Ki? De ne már, adj már egy másodpercet. Ez már egy beszarás, ez most mi? Meg kellett halnom. Nem győzhettem, ez egy fasság volt. Nem jó, nyilván nem. Nem tudom, hogy ez soknak számít, sokáig bírtam-e, de... Biztos vagyok komolyan, hogy megharcoltam a sötétséggel. A hazugságaival. Ámnak. Vagy éppen Helának? Nem is tudom. Hela is kínoz minket. Ott a kard. Tedd le a kardomat, Hela. Most azon add ide a kezembe a kardom, és megöllek vele.
You're alive. And there's no darkness. And you never took it from me, did you? And I can't save Diane.
Nem Helánál, aha. Ajaj.
Is that what you want me to believe? After all you've done to me? And to him? You're not a liar, but you're a liar! You crawled into me to confuse me and deceive me. But I know he's here. I know you have him. I'll give you my life. That's what you want, isn't it? My soul. Take it. I'll be a slave for you. I'll fight with you at Ragnarok. If you release him.
Nem csak ezt akarta, hát csak meg akart minket törni.
because I've got nothing left. No fear. No hate. No quest. Nothing. And you will have no power over me.
Igazából. Győztünk úgy, hát. Legyőztük, nem? Most akkor tényleg az egész sötétséget Hela intézte meg ő, próbált majd.
I learned the hard way to not be afraid of death, Senua. Because a life without loss
Ez komoly ez a...
is one without love. You turn your back on death, and all you can see is the shadow that it casts. The longer you hide from it, the longer the shadow grows until all you can see is darkness.
Mi is alattak lennénk, csak nem akarjuk elismerni.
When our time comes, we must look death in the eye and embrace it as a friend.
Ez a zavaró sztori.
Only then
Mindenre lehet gondolni.
and emerge from our darkness.
Never forget what it is like to see the world as a child, Senua. Every autumn leaf is like a work of art. Every rolling cloud a moving picture. Every day a new story. We too emerge from this magic, like a wave from the ocean, only to return to the sea.
Perché ce l'ha dottore Fai? Elengedte.
Do not mourn the waves, the leaves, and the clouds. Even in darkness, the wonder and the beauty of this world never leaves us. It is always there. waiting to be seen again.
Nem, én nem tudom, menj. Sötétség Hellából ered, vagy Hellá? Vagy ez egy külön dolog?
This is where my story once began. And so it has to end here. Because I cannot see further than this.
Follow us. We have another story to tell.
My friend, go with her. This now will be your story to witness.
Fú, hát én... teljesen összekavarodtam a végére. Nagyon kopiásos ez a zene. Aki az, hogy Oroszországban nem lehet pénzszeres ezzel a videóval. Balázs Kalaszti. Köszi Balázs. Matt Stoneham közt, mert... nem viccek. Na. Fú! Maga... Senua is narrálta a saját történetét, mint egy visszaemlékezés. Mi nekünk, akik megnéztük. Melina Jörgensen? Igen, Steve Hart, hát jó, ebből ki tudod, hogy Csipó Csanga narrátor. Fúriá. Hát jó. Karen Atkinson. És akkor a sztori igazából tényleg arról, hogy elengedje Diliont. Ez csak kérdés, hogy maga Hella kínzott minket az emlékeink által, meg a próbák által, vagy inkább csak a sötétség, aki az apánk teremtette, úgymond. Ilyen fanatikus volt, vagy az anyánkban is, meg bennünk is a gonosz látta, és ezért mindenki a gonosz látta, és tulajdonképpen megteremtette a gonoszt, ami bennünk volt. Viszont átverekedtük magunkat rajta. Akkor duratsz. Please don't go. I want you to stay. I'm begging you, please. Please don't leave here. I don't want you to hate for all the hurt that you feel. The world is just illusion. És most a végén ugye az a jelenet, hogy Hella leszúr minket, aztán felveszi a fejet, ledobja, de akkor már Senua állott, és Hella fekszik, Ez is mekkora mindfuck. Most akkor... Ezzel ismerte, hogy Hela feladta magát, hogy mi, mert tovább tudtunk lépni ezen is. Nem. Nagyon sok minden van, vagy nagyon sokféleképpen lehet értelmezni a sztorit is. Jó, amúgy nyilván nem az a jó, hogyha így egyértelműen mindenki van mondva ilyen sztorinál. Ezeket kell összeraknod. Viszont tényleg a harcrendszernél már valahogy nagyon fluid volt, meg minden, meg tényleg, hogy ez a nulla had, hogy ezt, hogy végre jövök rá a képességekre, még mert nem nyomogatom még a gombokat. Tehát ez elejétől is tudtam úgy rúgni, meg futásból ugrál, ütni. Oké, kurva jól nézett is ki. Viszont nem tudom. Meg is volt szerintem a hátránya. Nem volt elég nagy a látótér, ugye nem tudtál jól mozogni. Arénákban, meg falaknál beszorítottak az ellenségek, főleg illetve hát hiányzott ugye maga a farkas fightnál, vagy nem is tudom, most Fenrir vagy Garn, mindegy. Tényleg annyiszor megszabadott az, hogy kicsit kiálltam a fényből, és már sokkal nehezebb volt a fight. Nem éreztem. Plusz az is, hogy tényleg nem láttam a haladást, és ez is idegesített. Hogy ütöm, jön egy fázisból lefekszik, ütöm, fel kell, megöl, akkor visszajövök, akkor megint ütöm egy kicsit, már egyből lefekszik, hogy és hol járok, és következő fázis már, vagy mi történik. Érdekes volt az a része, valahogy meg volt a hátrány is ennek a letisztult harcnak. Egyébként jók a fejtörők is. Ezek a rúnák, na nehéz volt sokszor belelátni, meg mit tudom én. Amikor ilyen elmésem volt, hogy kell felvétezni a rúnát, az okés volt, de jobb McLaren. Ennyire vagy jobb. Nem vitett húzásba. Tényleg a történet, a kis melléksztorik, tényleg a mitológiai melléksztorik nagyon adták. Meg ez tényleg ez a lelkigyűlés, tényleg olyan, mint hogy purgatóriumon megy végig a lány. És... aha, ott is ment. Mert tényleg amúgy sokáig be is lehet tényleg ezt egészet fogni egy mentális betegséget. Valaki, aki mentális betegséggel küzd, és kb. Hogyha megélni. Hogy az apja tényleg megveti miatta, meg elfordítja a világból, mindenki ellene fordul, és vagy egyre mélyebb újraira megy a betegségnek. Tényleg ezt meg lehet élni úgy is, hogy ez nem egy mitológiai sztori lenne, csak egy lázálom. Nagyon jó. Nagyon tetszik. Wow. Májusban majd jön a... Milyen chapterek vannak? Nagyon sok lore-t kihagytam. Na. Road to Hell, Vardan. Igen. Bridge to Hell. Trials of Odin. Itt Kárp van írva, nem tudom, ez Acsi miért mondom én, mert arról is beszéltek. Ella Santum.
Stormy seas and lost souls.
Nem
She's
tudom,
dreamt
micsoda.
of this before.
Ez valami trailer, vagy?
They say dreams are visions of our memories, thoughts, and fears, as seen by our inner eye. But what if each one of us is always dreaming, even when
Ja,
awake?
most ez arra van,
And we
figyelmet.
only see what our inner eye creates for us.
Mentális betegségekkel, tényleg.
Is this what hell is? A world shaped by Senua's nightmares. Maybe that's why people fear seeing the world through her eyes. To Because if you believe that Senua's reality is twisted, you must accept that yours might be too.
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a video game about Senua, a Celtic warrior on a
Anto
mission
Chicato.
quest into Viking territory. But what sets our hero Senua apart is that she suffers from severe psychotic mental illness.
He knows she's getting closer. He can feel her coming closer. She's getting closer. They're watching.
The original idea for Hellblade was to create a classic hero's journey, a journey of suffering, but one where the fantasy world is not another planet or alternate universe, but a world that is constructed in Senua's mind. But to do so would mean putting psychotic mental illness at the center of the experience, a subject that is still considered taboo, and a challenge that was both terrifying and exciting in equal measure. In Hellblade, the starting point was a newly discovered Celtic goddess called Senua in Ashwell, Hertfordshire. When first discovered, her name was thought to be Senua, a name which I liked and kept. I wondered if Senua might have been a Celtic warrior like Boudica who stood up to the Romans. While the Romans had conquered all of Europe, there was a group of Celts up in the furthest reaches of the Roman Empire that could not be conquered, the Picts. And so the Romans built a wall, called Hadrian's Wall, that spans across Britain from sea to sea to keep the Pictish barbarians at bay. The Picts were known for their war paint, painted on with woad, and their matted hair clumped with lime. And so Senua would be a barbarian Pict in this image.
What's your name?
Senua,
I haven't seen you before.
I don't live home much.
Oh, Zeno's daughter.
I have to go.
Wait.
Orkney is off the coast of Scotland and was inhabited by the Picts, steeped in history and mystery, and so I made Orkney Senua's home and set the stage for a crisis. In the late 8th century, the first Vikings landed on the Orkney Islands. The population of the Picts crashed thereafter, replaced by the Norsemen of the 9th century. Were they wiped out? We don't know for sure, but it would seem likely given the reputation of the Vikings. The Northmen's brutality is legendary. High-ranking leaders and chieftains of the tribes they conquered were often offered as sacrifice to their gods. The most brutal of these sacrifices was known as the Blood Eagle. I imagine Senua as a young female warrior who returns home from exile to find her partner, Dillion, brutally sacrificed to a Norse god by these hellish warriors from a faraway land. I imagine the horror of this moment and how it would have dragged her deep into mental torment.
Ezt a szította vissza, nem? Elment tényleg, hogy azt hitt, hogy legyőzte. Visszatér egy ilyen tragédiára és visszazuhan.
I came to learn that the Celts had a sophisticated and nuanced perspective on the nature of mental disorder. One term they used was Gelt. A Gelt is a man or woman who has been driven mad by a curse, battle trauma, or grief. The Gelt would take to a life in the woods in search of penance, punishment, and purgation. And so Senua became a Gelt, cursed by darkness, looking for redemption in the wilds.
Foglalkoztak ezzel tényleg az ősi kelták.
Used in reference to mental disorders was truth, meaning fool, or liar, one who utters the words of God. They tell of the mad sinner who flees battle into exile and takes on a beastly nature, growing feathers on his body. The character called Truth in Hellblade is based on a little-known person called Findan, an 8th century Irish Celt who was captured and enslaved by the Vikings, but eventually escaped to Orkney where he became a monk.
I will tell you my stories of hell, if I may walk with you.
Upon meeting Senua, it would be his stories that fuel her quest deep into their world of gods.
The Northmen say the world will come to an end. The sun will grow black, the earth will sink into the sea, the stars will disappear, fire and water will meet, flames will play against the sky, the heavens and earth and all the world will be burned, all the gods will be dead, and the warriors of Valhalla and people everywhere. Senua, prepare yourself for Ragnarok, for it is nigh.
So the stage was set for a new adventure, a journey into the Norse underworld called Hell, a vision quest fueled by madness and myth, a fantasy that was created by Senua's own mind, and one that we would experience through her eyes.
This is your mission. This is your quest. There is nothing else left.
To make a game about a warrior with psychotic mental illness as its central theme was fraught with danger. Mental illness, such as psychosis, is still taboo and rarely acknowledged in a century of cinema, never mind the new medium of games. Where it does feature, it often conflates psychosis and psychopathy associated with a lack of empathy. It is unfortunate that these two words sound so similar that they are used interchangeably in media. I must admit that I didn't have to look very far to discover my own ignorance of the subject. So we reached out to Paul Fletcher, psychiatrist and professor of health neuroscience at University of Cambridge.
Psychosis is a descriptive term, and it refers to having a loss of contact with objective reality. So it's characterized by two main sets of symptoms. One of them is hallucinations, where somebody experiences perceptions when there is no actual objective thing out there to see. And the other is delusions, where somebody comes to very often bizarre, unpleasant, frightening beliefs when there's no good evidence in favor of them.
There's no doubt about it. The source of the darkness is in Helheim. And the goddess Hela holds his soul there.
We reached out to Welcome, a biomedical research charity that spends billions on research and awareness programs aimed at improving health.
Mental health hasn't always been presented in the media in a way that is particularly helpful. It can be challenging to engage people with the subject matter, and there are a lot of preconceived ideas about mental health, and particularly schizophrenia and psychosis. So we hope our support allows the team to continue to collaborate with Paul Fletcher and with those who have experience of psychosis to create a game that provides a fresh perspective on the condition and allows audiences to engage with it in a way that just wouldn't be possible in any other medium.
What started out as a brief consultation convinced me that we were only scratching the surface of an immensely deep and interesting subject that could enrich and change the very nature of the game.
Cool, thanks so much for coming in. Pleasure, thanks. It's really interesting for me, and I'd love to be involved. I think it's fascinating.
Our understanding of psychosis is still very much a mystery, and ways of treating it are still primitive compared to physical illness. After all, it is easy to see the pain and suffering caused by physical diseases or physical trauma. It is not so easy to see the mental suffering and trauma of severe mental illness. But what if we could find a way to see it? Games are capable of drawing you in for hours on end, playing the role of a character who is different from you, experiencing their perspective, and actively involving you in a world that functions with a different set of rules. If we were to represent Senua's psychosis, we would have to simulate voice hearing, a common attribute. But how can we simulate something we have no first-hand experience of? Professor Charles Fernyhough, a leading expert in voice hearing from Durham University, offered his help.
Hearing voices is an experience that is usually associated with severe mental illness, and crucially we know that hearing voices is a part of ordinary life for many people who don't meet the criteria for mental illness.
Yeah. Oh, that's not him in real life.
We know voices vary according to where they appear in space. Voices can appear far away in the distance, they can appear right there in your ear, they can seem to be coming from inside your head.
Based on the information Professor Fernyhough provided, I put together a sound brief and invited some actors to the studio. We recorded the actors using a binaural microphone, which records the 3D spatial position of sound, replicating the way sound is held by human ears. It gives you an incredible sense that the person you're listening to is right there beside you.
Egyik pont hangosabb volt, másik halkabb.
Rachel Waddell from the Voice Collective came to our studio with two young voice hearers to speak to our team. We talked at length about their experiences, and they listened to our tests, giving us feedback on how we could improve on it.
Everyone hates her. She's cursed.
It's very hard to represent what this experience is like, partly because it's such a personal, intense, emotional experience. It's testament to how Ninja Theory have been listening to what the researchers are saying, but also, crucially, listening to the experts by experience. What they've come up with is so compelling. It's by far the best representation I've heard of what these experiences are like.
Other common attributes of psychosis are visions and flashbacks. We met with Recovery College East, who work with and care for people recovering from severe mental disorders. A group of service users gave us their first-hand account of what they experience.
Sometimes when the visions or what we're seeing is too much, it becomes more difficult until eventually we practice don't see anything.
The people we spoke to, the stories they told, were fascinating, harrowing and mind-boggling. The reality of what people experienced was vivid, far exceeding what I could possibly have imagined. We went away itching to represent some of these visions and flashbacks in the game.
As we all know, my heart is so, love is so far away. Don't you know how I wanna feel deeper? I could never know how you grow, all these days are killing me. Now I see deep in me insanity does unfold. I just wanna feel deeper, deeper.
Remélem, hogy elmesélik milyen volt ezek a hallucinációk. Ezt használták fel. Az élmények alapján. Látnak bizonyos jeleneteket. Nagyon durva egyébként tényleg. Nem is tudom, hogy
To refine our work, we continue to hold meetings with Recovery College East over the course of a year and a half, showing them what we had achieved so far and refining the in-game representations based on their feedback. With their help, flashbacks, visions and changes in perception were woven into the story and gameplay of Senua.
The students that are involved in this project are incredibly excited about being involved. They have described the experience as being important because it values their lived experience and shows that despite what we have been through, all of that experience becomes valid, that actually it's something that we should all be talking about.
The experiences described range from beautiful to frightening beyond comprehension. I heard of a girl who has to live with an angry voice screaming at her, slamming on her doors and walls 24 hours a day. I met someone who would often see hanging corpses in a room, so real that she would sometimes try to rescue them. The panic and fear that comes with such visions is entirely understandable, and it can be a living horror for some.
Worthless, weak, pathetic. Go on, feel sorry for yourself, because there is no one left to do that for you.
I was urged by one fellow that we should not shy away from showing this horror, and so I was perpetually torn in making Hellblade. Had we gone too far with our representations or not far enough?
Broken and lost, just like your sword.
Come on.
In some ways, voice hearing and visions were the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. There's another aspect of psychosis that is much harder to explain, but one that I think video games are uniquely able to represent, which are often called delusions.
People begin to see patterns in the world. They begin to link things that most people wouldn't link. Most of the things that we might think would be coincidence or, not worth commenting on. Nevertheless, that might have a particular salience or importance for them.
One individual described how everyday words, sounds, colours and objects were steeped in meaning to him. forming a strange and sinister puzzle that he was determined to solve but could not quite get to the bottom of.
It's not just brain dysfunction, it's not like the system shut down. It's actually an incredibly creative process. The person creates a world populated with voices and phantasms and terrors, and they're completely immersed in it. They believe in it.
We often invite people into the studio to play the game. In one of our playtests, they played through much of the game, making associations between runes, secret messages, and the threat of darkness that stalked them. There are many things that happen in the world of Hellblade that make perfect sense within the context of Senua's mind. The dark rot that's killing her slowly from within, the secret runes of the gods that block her path to Helheim, and strange associations that exist in the game to confuse you. To complete Senua's quest, you have to internalize and accept the logic and meaning behind these things to progress. Afterwards they said that they didn't see much evidence of mental illness in the game. People with delusions of all sorts would argue the same thing, that they are not aware of their experience being abnormal in any way.
I need this sword. It's important.
Representing perception changes and thinking patterns within Hellblade gives us a set of symptoms common in psychosis. But people with lived experience were keen to emphasize another point, that it is wrong to define a person by their symptoms. Quite often, the illness comes not from the symptoms, but from the stigma, isolation and mistreatment that comes about from the rest of society.
Ezt a részét is nagyon jól. A megbélyegzésnek a
I needed someone to portray Senua,
veszélyét
someone
is
who could
nagyon.
believably internalize her suffering. Melina Jurgens, our video editor, had been a stand-in for Senua over a few months while we perfected our motion capture techniques. Without realizing it, she had already auditioned for the role, and I knew her well enough to know that I didn't have to teach her to act, but to relive her own internal pain. As often is the case, those who have suffered mental anguish are never far from us.
Ezt durva lehet játszani.
My hope is that by creating a compelling and aspirational character in Senua who feels very much real, albeit in a fantasy setting, we can provide a lens into her reality, a different one to yours, and this is where storytelling comes into play. I imagined her life based on common threads in real people's lives. She was always prone to psychosis as a child. Her mother Galina also heard voices and had visions, so perhaps there was a genetic aspect. Or perhaps it was cultural, as she lived within a world without science, of gods and superstition, as exemplified by her druid father Zimbal. Psychosis developed in her late teens to early 20s and was exacerbated by stigma and isolation at the hands of the clansmen and her father.
This darkness. It's spreading.
The trauma of seeing her lover Dillian sacrificed tips her over the edge, making her remodel her reality around a concept that connects everything: the darkness. So the question is, what Senua experiences real? Can only be answered by saying, yes, it is real. It is her reality.
All of her suffering will have been for nothing.
Igen, azt tudom tényleg. Az egész.
Towards the end of the project, service users and professionals that had collaborated with us were invited to see the near-final game. It was a chance to see if the game had reflected their views or if it had misrepresented them.
For me, being involved in especially developing Senua's character has been really important, and being able to bring in my perspective and what I see and what I hear, and having that built into the game has been a real privilege. It's gritty and it's meaty, and there are some tough subjects in there that are being tackled with honesty.
I was blown away by it today, absolutely blown away. It was just fantastic to get the opportunity to use our lived experience in a very creative way. There's nothing tokenistic about the work we've put in. It feels like we've been listened to, things have been taken on board, and I think there was a lot of realism in the game itself, and it feels very authentic.
Hellblade will give people a good experience of what it's like to hear voices and have those experiences. I'm glad that the guys at Ninja Theory kind of asked us to come along and help them build an experience that's positive when it comes out, and get myself a copy and have a go.
I think all the way through I was really inspired by how the conversations have translated into the game in a way that I think I didn't imagine was possible. So wonderful, really wonderful.
I really hope that others will follow the lead they've set and use the power of something like a video game to change people's perceptions, to increase understanding, and ultimately to make some of the stigma around voice hearing and other experiences go away.
For me, it was really exciting to see something that I explore scientifically being represented so beautifully in a character who's trying to penetrate the mysteries of the environment in which they've been placed, with all of this strange uncertainty and noise and conflicting information that they're getting. I'm very excited by this way of trying to represent mental illness, because I think it actually might be offering us insights that we wouldn't get from pure scientific explorations, and actually giving us quite an empathic view of what it might be like.
Mental illness has been with us for as long as we have been on this planet, but why? Why hasn't evolution stamped out this weakness from within our gene pool? I often pondered this question until I realized that the question had an inbuilt flaw. It assumes that being and thinking differently is a weakness. The only reason we have computers, spacecraft, medicine, poetry, art, and yes, even video games is because individuals are able to simulate new abstract realities in their minds and share them with the rest of us. We need people to be willing to see differently in order for us to progress and survive as society. And we need to be open to these new ways of seeing. And it is this spirit that motivated me to create Senua's story and share it with you.
Hát, ez egy nagyon jó kiegészítés volt a játékhoz. Tényleg. Térjük tovább a számot, mert szerintem elmondtam talán mindent, ami a fejemben van ezzel a játékkal kapcsolatban. Szóval itt az ideje, hogy elbúcsúzzak. Köszönöm, hogyha ezt megnézed, ezt a videót. Tényleg. Szerintem vagy játszani, vagy tényleg megnézni is, átélni ezt az élményt. Nagyon jó sztori és nagyon egyedi. Most nagyon elgondolkodtató. Na, akkor vegyünk könnyes búcsút. Na szevasztok, jó ét!